Okay, guys, I'm making this video here to show you what evidence of voter fraud there is widely available for free right now on YouTube, but YouTube has figured out that we are sharing these videos and that they clearly point to voter fraud. When you have somebody who was a former NSA operative, like the head, worked real high up in the NSA, and he's telling you, yes, these programs exist. We invented them after 9/11 to spy on the Middle East and to control their elections in the Middle East. Why wouldn't the crazy leftist liberals use that same program on us, y'all? So I'm not going to stand here and stand by and just accept defeat when we clearly know that the liberals stole this election. It's completely obvious with a program called Hammer and a software added to it called Scorecard. Changes 3% of the vote as it is currently being reported. It always rings. So as the vote is coming in over the databases online, Scorecard goes in, grabs 3% of the vote from, say, Donald Trump, flips it to Joe Biden. So why did Donald Trump go from a 700,000 lead in North Carolina down to 100,000? Because they flipped a lot of those votes.
Mom.
It has to be. That or they pushed through all those fake paper ballots. I'll charge your watch for you in a minute. Hold on.
Charger?
Go look inside.
Are you going to help me?
Yeah. Daddy might have took your charger, though, to charge his phone. So I'm making this video as proof so that I can gather the evidence. I can have all the video files remotely on my...
Make this video a diamond.
Okay. So I can have all these video files directly on my phone.
Stay right there. Don't move, baby.
Oh, I don't want to go over there because it will show my address on the front of my house, and I don't want to dox myself. Don't want any crazy liberals coming after me next. So, I'm making this video to send to President Donald Trump so that he has proof of this voter fraud that happened. If he doesn't know about the computer program Hammer and Scorecard, he's going to know about it after this. And I'm also sending this to Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. So I hope you guys start talking about it and mentioning it because we know it exists. Hello, I remember in the late 2000s when George Bush mentioned it, when President Bush mentioned, oh yeah, we have a program to spy on our enemies. Oh yeah, we have a program to kind of infiltrate their election. But then they never used the official names and called them by their program names. They just kind of hinted that we have the capability, it does exist. It still exists. Why wouldn't the crazy leftist liberals use it? As much as they hate our president, Donald Trump, who's done so much for our American people, of course they'd use it. They will use any way possible to cheat. All right, see the attached.
Republicans insist we shouldn't talk about that.
Wait, watch it. They're going to show this video from DGJ.
It is our
Donald
duty
Trump Jr.
to talk about it and investigate it because the mainstream media isn't. My firm belief is there is voter fraud and ballot counting fraud at play here. I want you to look at this video retweeted out by Donald Trump Jr. It went viral until, of course, Twitter censored it. Of course they did.
What is this girl doing?
Counters are filling out multiple ballots. Now,
can you see what they're doing?
Watch. They are. But this video
she just
is
takes the stamps received, and then starts filling out a new ballot.
This lady is marking the ballots. I filmed her a half hour ago doing 6, and she's still working at it. So, let's stamp it, received, and let's fill in our 6 blanks.
No way.
I told you.
Unbelievable.
No fucking way, dude.
Donald Trump Jr.'s got all that shit. That is ballot harvesting. They're just sitting there faking them. No registration, nothing, just faking them.
When it comes to picking a winner, it must be about transparency and legitimacy. The president's legal team is insisting they have evidence of thousands of dead people voting too across the country. We know Republican observers are being barred from watching the count in many areas, even with laws and court orders allowing them to do so. This, folks, is video shared by Senator Ted Cruz, a vote counter insisting he is witnessing ballot fraud firsthand in Philly, also taken down from Twitter multiple
Watch,
times.
I saw this video yesterday, Sarah, you missed it.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right before my eyes. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden or Donald Trump. This has to do with our democracy, and I will tell you, there's corruption at the highest level in the
They would not let him get any closer than that, and he's a Democrat judge. That's what he said at the beginning of his video. Said his name and said, "I'm a Democrat judge, and they will not let me get any closer than this to watch them count the ballots." And I'm a Democrat.
Needs and deserves that investigation. What the
Okay, I am taking this video via my phone off of my computer. This video is on YouTube currently, and it's Steve Bannon talking to someone, talking to Michael Flynn's lawyer about a secret ballot changing program. But because YouTube is going around taking these videos down and taking down any videos of proof, I am recording it myself to send to President Trump and Rush Limbaugh and Sean.
Us on war and pandemic. You've got some breaking news we got to talk about. It's one of the reasons we have Cindy Powell over here today. Something very disturbing. There's been a site called the American Report. It's got a woman named Mary Fanning's done some incredible reporting, particularly about a guy named Dennis Montgomery. What is it? This thing that's going around about this project or this system called Hammer. Explain to our audience what this is and why it should be of such concern to people in this current situation that we're in.
Yes, I will, Steve. The fact is that Hammer is what we call a SIGINT, a signals intelligence program that the NSA came up with years ago. The CIA picked it up under the Obama administration, and I broke it in March of 2017 about what they were doing on the Russian hoax. But the fact is,
they're at the countdown of the end of his presidency. That's right. And the reality is, like anything else, you better get what you can while he's there, because look, come 2016, that's it.
Well, I don't know, and I think some people are missing something here. The president has put in place an organization that contains the kind of database that no one has ever seen before in life. That's going to be very, very powerful, and whoever...
In terms of the Organizing for America that he's now shifting to become a 501c4.
Yeah, that's right. And that database will have information, everything on every individual in ways that it's never been done before, and whoever runs for president on the Democratic ticket have to deal with that.
But we are ready. I feel very confident that Joe Biden will be elected president on Tuesday.
Situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Straight admitted it.
the Obama administration took this system and they put in an application in this SIGINT program called Scorecard. And Scorecard changes votes at a certain point in the voting stream. And if I can, and by the way, the Obama administration used it in the 2012 election in Florida. So both Obama and Biden are very familiar with this. Now I've got to make a quote here.
Yeah.
And it's important that we all understand it. It's by Joseph Stalin. I consider it completely unimportant who in the party will vote or how. But what is extraordinarily important is this: who will count the vote. Now, Steve, we have a desperate Democratic Party that will do anything to bring the country to a totalitarian state and as far left as they want. They used it in the primaries, and Bernie lost to Biden because they used it in the primaries. So it is ready to go. I just found out about this yesterday. Sydney played a very important role in assisting me and Mary Fanning and Alan Jones and trying to get the word out so the American people know all this enthusiasm you're talking about in Pennsylvania gets changed very quickly with this software program that switches 3% of the votes. And the
And this
fact
is a
is,
retired general of the
it
Air
was then
Force.
adopted with the software packages like on your iPhone to the voting business. And it was to be used, and it was used in foreign countries. We know it's active tonight. It's active. They've been looking at a whole host of things, as has the DNC, using false IPs. And they are looking around, and they're trying to set up this voting thing that happens on Tuesday night. It's going to look good for President Trump, but they're going to change it. And that's the danger that America and everybody must realize.
And that's exactly what they did.
It's extremely important to what's going on. It would have happened in 2016, Steve, except something happened to it that night
The
when
programmer
the Obama crowd
turned it off,
and the Democrats
or put
tried to use
a
it.
fake
can't
program
talk about
code in
that.
there so it wouldn't
How do
run.
people get more access to you? What's your Twitter handle?
Twitter handle is at Sydney Powell 1, SINEY, website.
That doesn't help me. I've already been banned from Twitter for trying to defend Rush Limbaugh.
The Flynn case and everything else.
You're going to be able to stop Hammer and Scorecard?
We intend to stop Hammer and Scorecard.
They intend to, but did it actually get stopped?
President Trump's legal team in contesting this election. Sydney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that.
That's to put it mildly. The computer glitches could not and should not have happened at all. That is where the fraud took place, where they were flipping votes in the computer system or adding votes that did not exist. We need an audit of all of the computer systems that played any role in this fraud whatsoever. And, Joe Biden had it right. He said that he had the biggest voter fraud organization ever, and he didn't need people's votes now. He would need people later. They had this all planned, Maria. They had the algorithms, they had the paper ballots waiting to be inserted if and when needed. And notably, President Trump's vote in the blue states went up enormously. That's when they had to stop the vote count and go in and replace votes for Biden and take away Trump votes.
I've never seen voting machines stop in the middle of an election. Stop.
That's because they don't.
Assess the situation.
Unless you're going to be crooked.
That Nancy Pelosi's longtime chief of staff is a key executive at that company. Richard Blum, Senator Feinstein's husband, significant shareholder of the company. What can you tell us about the interest on the other side of this Dominion software?
Well, obviously they have invested in it for their own reasons and are using it to commit this fraud to steal votes. I think they've even stolen them from other Democrats in their own party who should be outraged about this also. Bernie Sanders might very well have been the Democratic candidate, but they've stolen against whoever they wanted to steal it from.
Sydney, these are incredible charges that you are making this morning. We, of course, will be following this. And we thank you for joining me today.
You can't find
Please
what?
come back soon. Sydney Powell. That'll do for Sunday.
The aloe? Your finger's starting to burn?
SGTReport.tv and SGTReport.com here. It's 11:30 p.m. Central Time as I record this, and it's my patriotic duty to share this video with you. Have you heard the terms the hammer and scorecard yet? Well, if you haven't, you're going to be hearing a lot more about those terms. And in fact, at the end of this video, you're going to hear those terms spoken by General Flynn's attorney, Sydney Powell herself. What you're about to see is the single most egregious real-time example of electronic vote fraud maybe ever captured, and it occurred live on CNN. I would ask anyone watching this video to rip it, re-upload it, share it, tweet it, and email it to CNN and to anyone on President Trump's team. The mainstream media and big tech continue to claim there is no evidence of vote or election fraud in this election, and that's because they are co-conspirators in this treason. This is an interview between L. Todd Wood and voter fraud researcher Russell Ramsland, and below this video I will leave a link to the full interview.
I gotta try to adjust this better so that you can actually see what the vote count says on the screen, because that's the whole point. My mom took down the curtain in the window behind me, so now I gotta figure out a way to get the right angle here, guys. Okay, here. I think this is good.
Many more examples of electronic vote fraud captured by Russell Ramsland.
This is some amazing video that you're seeing from CNN election night. And I want to go
on
back
election night
and show you a little bit about this clip. First, I want to explain what's happening in this clip. What's happening in this clip is this is the live feed from Clarity Elections coming through the Associated Desk or Decision Desk HQ.
This is the live feed.
So this is the live feed.
From
You're seeing the database
from the
Clarity
election
has as
database.
it gets updated with votes. Okay? And right now, and this
Oh yeah, and this is
ribbon
the
at
Kentucky
bottom,
governorship
this is
race,
generated
by the way.
CNN. And they
See how many votes there
update
is?
this
662
a second after
for Matt
they
Bevin.
get the update from Clarity up here. So let's just look. Right now, Andy Beshear, who is the guy that upset Matt Bevin, the governor at the time, Andy Beshear has 673,948 votes. That ties to what the ribbon from CNN says. Same thing with Matt Bevin, 662,235. 662,235. Now, let me take you through, and real quick, I'm going to run it again. You're going to see, if you're watching just this gold, you're going to see a flash update, and then this guy's face fills the page, and then I'm going to show you what you really missed. So here we go. Watch the gold. The update's coming. Boom, there are updates. And now here's this guy. Now let me show you what you missed. We're going to drag this back frame by frame.
That's the only way you can see stuff, when you go frame by frame.
And
That's
so
when you catch them cheating.
Before the update, and now I'm going to
Before the
start
update.
walking you forward.
662, 235.
Here comes the update from Clarity.
Bam!
There it
He
is.
just lost votes.
So now
661,
the
675. Look at the
Matt
bottom score.
Andy
662,
Beshear
235.
has 674,508 votes. And look down below, Andy Beshear had 673,948. They haven't had a chance to update the ribbon because this is in split seconds we're looking now.
And Matt Bevin had
So,
662,
Andy Beshear
235.
just gained
Now,
560 votes. That makes sense. That's what happens as more votes come in, right? Let's look at Matt Bevin. He now has 661, 675. But look down below. He did have 662, 235. At the exact same second that Andy Beshear has gone up 560 votes, Matt Bevin has gone down 560 votes. This is vote switching
in the computer.
in the computer.
That's illegal.
And by the way, between the 560 gain and 560 loss, you have just seen 25% of the loss amount of this race happen in front of your very eyes.
25% of his loss right there.
We just heard from John Solomon that the FBI indeed is being diligent, is involved, and we all hope he is exactly right. Your thoughts first about the knowledge now that the Justice Department is involved in this review of the election.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that. I think there are any number of things they need to investigate, including the likelihood that 3% of the vote total was changed in the pre-election voting ballots that were collected digitally by using the Hammer program and a software program called Scorecard. That would have amounted to a massive change in the vote that would have gone across the country and explains a lot of what we're seeing. In addition, they ran an algorithm to calculate votes they might need to come up with for Mr. Biden in specific areas. I think that explains what happened in Michigan, where the computer glitch
In
resulted
Wisconsin.
in a change of votes of about 5,500 in favor of President Trump, just in
Yeah,
one of
and in
47
favor of a
districts.
GOP local
all those
guy.
districts need to be checked
It
for
even
that
took all the
same,
local
quote,
guys'
software
votes.
glitch, end quote, that would change the result in Michigan dramatically. The same thing is happening in other states. We've had hundreds of thousands of ballots mysteriously appear for solely for Mr. Biden, which is statistically impossible as a matter of mathematics.
Yeah, exactly.
It can all be documented. We are putting it into materials that we will file.
I'm just going to keep recording all these videos that I can find on YouTube to compile them so that I have them saved and I can send them to President Trump, because you know, when YouTube figures out what's going on, they're going to go through and delete all these videos, and then they're going to make videos that say, Hammer and Scorecard are just a myth. There's no way that really happened. There's no way we would actually cheat in our own elections.
And the application
This guy's former NSA.
called Scorecard is designed to change votes on the fly as they are reported by tallying locations in all precincts and counties, whatever applies to your state, as totals are reported via the internet. The data is grabbed in real time, changed, and sent on its way. And this happens in microseconds. I'm not going to go into the technical details of how that happens. Just realize that the data is changed so quickly in the favor of whatever candidate it's told to favor that no one notices a delay and just accepts the total. And this has been going on in numerous states, to include battleground states, during this whole election. And it is still going on as votes are being counted and reported up echelon. Now, this evening, lawyer Sidney Powell, the personal attorney of General Michael Flynn, and someone who is known to the President of the United States, appeared on Lou Dobbs this evening and reported this fact. And she added the fact that data has been obtained from the whistleblower who built the capability, Mr. Dennis Montgomery, who is a national hero in this matter, having made this data available. There is forensic evidence showing what data was changed, where it came from, and where it was going to. And a record is kept. That means
There's a log file.
Solid evidence of voter fraud perpetrated by the people that are operating this Hammer Scorecard combination to change the votes of the citizens of this country. And in my way of thinking, if that is true, Mr. Trump will have no problem in court overthrowing the kind of results we are seeing reported.
But we gotta point him out, guys. We got to point it out. Wait, I found another one, y'all. This is a different one.
A CNN update of the Pennsylvania elections in live time. What you're going to notice is that Pennsylvania, which you can see here, Trump and Biden, Trump was leading. He had 1,690,589 votes. Biden had 1,252,537 votes. Trump was well in the lead. I'm going to let this video finish, and then at the end I'm going to pause it. And I want you to remember this number. 1,690 for Trump, 1,252 for Biden, and then we're going to do some math.
Here comes the update. Boom. Oh, this is Wisconsin. Okay, flip to Wisconsin. Flip to Wisconsin's totals. Okay. Now it's Arizona, showing Arizona. This is what I was looking for yesterday. I was looking for these numbers in real time. Michigan. Oh,
so here we go.
He went down.
We got 30 seconds of updates. Pennsylvania is in.
Trump went down.
Trump has lost 19,950 votes. Now here's the thing. Did a little work here, and I want you to see this in Photoshop. At the beginning of the clip, Trump has 1,690,000. The update comes, Trump is up 440,000 votes. Trump loses 19,958, but guess what? Biden gains those votes. Take a look at Biden. 1,252,000 votes to 1,272,000 votes.
Oh.
If this doesn't raise a red flag for the judiciaries of Pennsylvania, we know this happened in Nevada. There's other videos. Who's to say this hasn't happened all over the world?
Maybe it happened all over the country.
Doesn't have to take over every county in a state. It just has to help Biden lose by 3% less in the state so they can backpack the ballots at the end. Trump has won this election. This has to be called into question. We want Congress and the FBI to mount a full investigation, and we will riot in the streets.
We will riot. I'm ready to riot in the streets because this is bullshit.
We cannot allow the Democrats to tear down this nation again. Listen
we are
to me.
not.
If they win this election corruptly like this, using hammer and scorecard,
they'll do it every time.
Lose again. Pass on this video. We may have to get out and protest. Trust the plan. Work with your local representatives. Call, share this video. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot let this great America fall to the deep state.
Not allowing it.